Oh, come on! Hey! There's something weird in the neighborhood! Who are you gonna call? Somebody else! Because this movie actually sucks! Big surprise! All seriousness aside, yes, the all-new 2016 Ghostbusters, directed by Paul Feig, is bad. Okay? It's not everything I was expecting it to be in terms of being horrid, but yes, it is a bad movie. Really bad. Okay, let's just get right down to the nitty-gritty of this movie, okay? Paul Feig and his usual collaborators, they were the wrong talent for this movie, okay? I'm saying this as someone who is not a fan of the original film. I'm saying this as someone who just enjoys it every once in a while. First time I ever saw it in its entirety was back when I was in high school. The most recent time I saw it, a few months ago. Okay? And that was the second time I watched it from beginning to end. This movie is just... it's not even worthy of being called Ghostbusters. Like, I'm reminded of what the YouTuber Mundane Matt said. If they just changed some of the iconography up and called it something else, like Ghost Hunters, and was a deconstructive comedy like Paul Feig usually does, then yeah, it would have been a better film, but as it is not Ghostbusters at all. If you go back and look at the original film, its style was more on the lines of wit and subtle humour, while also having elements of genuine horror that are scary and suck you in, contrasted with some light romance and plenty of comedy. Here though, it's just all funny all the time, and I'm not familiar with the works of the actresses they got, like Melissa McCarthy for instance, but I've heard good things, but they've been given just utter crap to work with, and despite some good acting from them, yeah, I just don't like their characters at all. You know, that's something else as well. The writing for this movie is just underwhelming as a whole. I mean, what's the villain's motivation? It's actually one of the most cliched motivations ever. He wasn't appreciated when he was younger, despite being well-educated. The world sees him as a freak, and now he wants revenge. I'm the type of person who tends to gravitate towards the villain in just about any form of fiction because, like so many other people, I see them as the most interesting characters. This villain just sucks. The Ghostbusters themselves don't fare too well either. They're all just one-note caricatures. I mean, Melissa McCarthy's character is just a really awkward nerd who's obsessive. Her friend is just this over-the-top tomboy. The protagonist, she's just this clean freak who wants to be a serious intellectual all the time. And then you got, I'm pretty sure her name's Leslie Jones, the black actress. Her character is just sassy black chick, ain't take no shit from no man. And then there's Chris Hemsworth. Oh Lord, what did they do to him? He made a mistake getting into this. His character, the goofy secretary, he's just insufferable. He isn't funny. His joke is that he's stupid and unaware of the situation as a whole and possibly even mentally challenged. But that's all there is to him, and it just gets hammered in constantly, and it's not funny. It just isn't. The ghosts weren't too bad. I'll admit that. There are some moments where the effects do look pretty fake and crappy, but for the most part, the effects are actually pretty nice. It's just a shame that there isn't any actual scariness or tension in the film. Okay, the opening is actually pretty strong. You think, okay, so maybe with the reshoots and some revisions to the script, they may have actually made something that's more true to the original in spirit. And you think that when you see this scene that actually does feel like it's been set up as a horror movie, and then afterwards it's just all funny all the time with that spewing scene that was from the trailer. Which is another thing, okay? If you've seen the original trailer and the international trailer, you've seen all the major jokes, which is another problem with it. See, because of those trailers spoiling everything, and I do understand that that's what trailers are supposed to do, show you the best bits of the movie so you want to go see the rest of it. But here though, because we know what the jokes are, we can actually tell when they're going to happen, and when they do, the setup for the punchline is rendered moot, and the punchline just fails to deliver. Not that the jokes are actually any good anyway. I mean, what is with that recurring slime joke? Just why? The new Ghostbusters is just bad. Really, this shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. If you've seen it and you thought it was alright, well, good for you, but for me, it just sucked out loud as a movie all on its own. I mean, including myself, there were only 9 people in the theatre, one of them was a little girl, she was the only one laughing at the movie, and that was at the jokes that were at the very beginning. After that, I couldn't get a peep out of her, didn't hear anything. Not even the climax, which I thought was going to be the one thing worth sitting through to see, saves it. Don't bother giving this movie your money. You're better off giving it to something else, like Finding Dory. It's not one of the worst movies I've seen so far this year, but I can definitely see it getting a spot on my list of the top 5 worst films of the year. Really, just don't bother with Ghostbusters, and I need to go watch Third Rock from the Sun. At least that's funny. Thank you so much for watching this video, really do appreciate it. If you really like this video, how about you like, favourite and subscribe. I've got some other videos you might want to check out, like some other movie reviews, maybe some game reviews, or some random stuff. I've got all sorts of stuff coming out all the time. And coming up soon, I'm going to have a review of Kung Fu Panda 3 out as soon as I can, and after that, Key and Peele's Keanu.